Yo, welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm the host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. And today, man, we got a few things we want to talk about. I got a couple special guests that's going to grace their presence on Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. So, like I always say, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate everybody that's supporting the podcast and supporting the channel. And welcome on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hope everybody's having a great day. Also, I'd like to take this time to thank everybody that's, showing support, showing love, and watching these podcasts and, getting the podcasts out there. So like I always say, when you come in the stream, just go ahead and like it, give it a thumbs up, share the stream, tell a friend to tell a friend. So without further ado, we got a great show lined up for you today. But like I always say, before we get started, I always say, DJ, kick the beat.
Yeah. Simply ball dropping. What's up, family? K-Sap, we up. Ain't no stopping. I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve, making you haters believe I'm the MVP. Ask Mr. V and R&B, they do all sports, whether it's on the field or the court, from the arena to the ring. What? You wanna swing? I rope a dope like the one on this boxing thing. That's a punchline. I'm the greatest of all time. Got something on your mind? Hit us up on the line for that round table talk. Ask B Hunt and Sheena and K-Sap too for their views on our dudes. Marriage Chronicles for you lovers. Oh, I'm married to the game. The championships, the only time I wanna ring. K-Sap, the man behind the mic, check 1, 2. It ain't a rap until I say it's a rap. Just fall through, pull up, the hottest pod smoking. Yeah, I got you open. This freestyle brought to you by James Ford. Paid promotion, yeah. Simply ball dropping. You know what time it is. Pull up, chop it up with your family, man. K-Sap, what up?
And now, your host of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, the man behind the mic, K-Sap.
Yo, and once again, man, I want to give a shout out to my man, James the Fourth, man. That's the man behind the music of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, man. That puts all the dope beats together and all the hits and all the tunes that people can rock to. But, without further ado, I'm going to bring these two ladies on. Their podcast is called, what is it? A Picture, 1,000 Words. 1,000 Words podcast. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And we'll get off into it when I bring them on. So without further ado, welcome the ladies of A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words podcast, Miss Linnell and Lene. All right, Linnell, you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll bring the other half, better half on.
Okay, I'm Linnell Fletcher, and one half of the Fletcher twins. I get called Nell, so my friends call me Nell, Nell, and I currently reside in New York City.
New York City, okay. You out there in New York on the East Coast. On the East Coast, okay, great introduction. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to bring Miss Lene in.
Hi, I am Lene Fletcher, the other half of the Fletcher twins. I reside in sunny South Florida, and I was the twin number 1, so I was baby A. I came out first.
Oh, so you're the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that's a great introduction. Now you got a Picture is Worth 1,000 Words podcast.
Yep.
I kind of botched that up from the start, but I do apologize. But we got it right now. So A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So since I got you ladies on, and we get off into the show, let me ask you, ladies. I don't know how this came about, but tell the people a little bit about your podcast and how you got started and where that name A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words came from.
Okay, I'll start. Well, I had been wanting to start a podcast for I think about a year before we actually started it. Once I moved to New York, And I wanted to start it so me and my sister can have something to do together since we were so far away. Because when I was staying in Florida, I literally stayed around the corner from her and her husband, so I can go over there every day if I wanted to.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to start it. And we always talk about sports. We grew up in a sports household. We always watch football every Sunday and things like that. And we always talk about the controversies and the scandals that happen to athletes on and off the field or the court or the whatever. And so we wanted to bring those conversations to the people because they were very entertaining conversations. So that's where it all started, the concept of it. And then the name, a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you notice, we spell pitcher like a baseball pitcher.
Yeah.
Because we do talk about baseball, so we don't spell it like the camera picture. But also because we drink wine on the show, and we drink wine out of a pitcher, like a pitcher of wine. So that's also why we named it that way. But Nate, if you wanted to add anything, you can.
Yeah, so when she first came to me about it, I was a little hesitant because I was like, everybody has a podcast now. Like everybody's a real estate agent. Like to me, it was like something that everybody was doing. And then
Right.
so she got more into the details of the topics and things we'll be talking about. And I was like, okay, it could be like a little niche for two Black women, you know, to have a podcast talking about sports. It's kind of like not really popular that way. Like it's almost unheard of. If so I was like, okay. And so as we started doing it, it was like our first few episodes were really, really funny and we kept getting great feedback. So I was like, okay, I'll stick with it. And so here we are now today.
That's great. And the thing about it is, like I tell a lot of people, like women in sports, man, that's a great thing. You know, it's sometimes you don't hear a lot of women talking about sports because
Mm-hmm.
if you notice, like in relationships, and you know, like it could be a marriage, it could be boyfriend and girlfriend, and you know, the man is always wanting to watch sports, and women don't want to sit there and watch sports with their man. They get irritated, like, oh, he's always watching sports and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, like y'all said, growing up in a sports household, man, two sisters, twins, y'all, you know, y'all like sports and y'all like talking about it. And two, you know, young sisters that's bringing sports to the table in your community and things like that. You'd be surprised the feedback that you get. And I always tell people, like with women doing sports and doing shows, and you have a podcast, men are going to gravitate to that. Men are going to like to hear from a woman's perspective. You know what I'm saying? So things that y'all guys are doing, y'all just keep doing what you're doing because, you know, when people see your podcast, like if you're on YouTube or anything like that, and they see your podcast and they see young Black women talking sports, people are going to click on it to see, like, let's see what these girls are talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like on Instagram, I follow you on Instagram and I say, I like, oh, the man, one day, I don't know what happened. I think y'all put a little voice clip out there, podcast that y'all was upcoming podcast, and I listened to it. I said, let me listen to what they got to talk about. I was like, man, when talking sports, right up my alley. So that's how it came about when I reached out to you guys. I'm like, man, I'd like to be on y'all's podcast, give y'all some of my perspective on some of the sports that I know and vice versa. So I was like, man, it's kind of interesting. Like I heard a lot of things. I was like, wow, man, these women are intelligent, man. They know what they're talking about. See, a lot of women, you know, get on and they talk. They really don't know what they're talking about. A lot of people, but y'all have, I call it facts. Y'all have the meats with the potatoes. You know what I'm saying? So y'all get them a 4-course meal. You know, it's things like what y'all talk about. It's real impressive, man. So y'all keep doing what you're doing. So as far as, you know, doing the podcast and things like that, I heard you say you talk baseball. What other sports do y'all talk about?
Well, we talk about it all. So like the main premise, the main premise of it is to talk about the scandals that are like outside of the actual game. So if a baseball player gets in trouble at the airport, or if a track star or anything like that gets in trouble off the track. So it literally all sports are on the table. Nothing is off limits. And we say that in our intro. No sports is off limits. No player we don't have a gag order to not talk about a certain player. So everybody gets to talked about and every sports get talked about. So it's all out there.
Man, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Now now the NFL, man, the playoffs has ramped up. Games have been played. So let me get y'all's take on these playoffs. I know we had some games on Saturdays. I want to get y'all's take on how y'all feel about that Jaguar and Chargers game. Give me a rundown on that because I'm lost for words on that. So let me hear y'all's take on how y'all feel about how that game played out.
Let me go first because she probably can give you more information because during the first half, he threw like 5 interceptions, right? I was done after the third interception.
Yeah.
Because I was rooting for him. Because in our family, we have a playoff bracket where each of the family members, we put in like $50 in a pot, and we literally do a bracket of the entire playoff season. And each round is worth more points. So the more games you win, the better you are. So I had picked Jacksonville for that game, right? So after the third interception, I was like, I'm about to watch this. They down by like 27 points. I'm about to turn it to Netflix. So that's exactly what I did. I turned it to Netflix and watched this great documentary, actually. And then I turned it on and I fell asleep. I woke up to so many missed calls and text messages about the game. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me go see what happened. And they won by 1 point. So I can't even talk about the rest of it, but I'm very happy for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars.
So from my perspective, like she said, if we're for a team and they're losing by so much, like I normally turn to reruns of Seinfeld. I'm done with it. Yeah. And so, but outside of the bracket, I do bets on the side. So I had a parlay ticket with Jacksonville. I had the over, which they got, but I think they had to win by 3 points or something like that. I didn't win a ticket. But so that's why I was watching mainly for it. But yeah, when it was 0-27, I was like, okay, let me go take a shower. Then maybe I come out and something's different. I took a shower, I came out and I got distracted, right? So I never went back to the game until the end of the fourth quarter. And I was like, oh my God, they came back. And it was like, I think they were within 2 points, or they had tied or something. They was I think they had tied it.
Yeah.
At a point. And then so that's where I started watching on my phone because I didn't want to walk back downstairs and watch it on the big TV. And then I was like, I refreshed it and I kept refreshing it. And then I saw it said 31-30, right? And I screamed. I was like, I cannot believe this. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the heck happened?
Man, that's crazy. I mean, that game right there, when you up 27-0. And typically in the NFL, if you turn the ball over 4 to 5 times, there's no way that you should win a ball game.
Correct.
But if you look at the year that Trevor Lawrence has had, right? Typically, Jaguars fall behind, right? And now, Trevor Lawrence is forced to throw the ball. Now, they can get some chunk plays. And in this game, the way it started transpiring is they slowed down the Chargers' run game. The Chargers was missing their big play receiver in Mike Williams. You know what I'm saying? They only had Keenan Allen. He got the tight ends involved, Austin Eckler. But after that, Jaguars started shutting that down. And the offense became stagnant. So now, even though Trevor Lawrence threw them four picks, he still was able to get some points on the board. But it was 27-0.
Yeah.
Then it was 27-7. And I said, man, well, they only down 20. I mean, the game was still early because if you look at it, the turnovers happened early in the game. It wasn't late in the game. Everything started off in the first quarter. So you had plenty of football left to play, and the Jaguars they stuck with it. Then ETN started, picking up his momentum, getting some yards on the carry, on the runs, and things just started unfolding. I'm like, oh man, they about to come back. So the funny thing about it, I was over my mother-in-law's and I was leaving out. I said, well, the Jaguars ain't gonna come back and win this game. And as we was coming home, my son pulled it up on the live thing. He was like, man, Jaguars is about to score. And I was like, what? And I was like, man. And then I said, first thing I said, that head coach has to be fired. He got to go. He got to go.
Yeah.
For the Chargers?
Yeah, he got to go.
They like. I need to know why they only scored 3 points in the second half.
The second half, and
Like,
that's baffling because, like I said, the Jaguars they shut all that down, man. In the second half, everything was shut down.
Yeah.
I'm so mad I missed that. And I woke up. Nate had called me. Y'all were trying to wake me up, and my phone is always on silent, so I never hear anything. So I was dead asleep, and I missed possibly the greatest comeback in NFL history.
In the playoffs.
No, in the playoffs, yeah, but not in NFL.
Not in NFL history. We got Minnesota got that.
Peyton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was against Peyton, right?
This year, Minnesota came back against the Colts against Matt Ryan. You know, we was down 33-0, and we came back and won that game.
Oh wow!
That was the greatest comeback in NFL history in the regular season. But I think this game this past weekend was the greatest comeback in NFL history in the playoffs. When you're down
playoffs, okay,
yeah. So
that's crazy because I totally gave up on him, and I'm sorry.
I did.
Trevor. Sorry,
I did.
I gave up.
I did. I thought that.
He went to the Waffle House afterwards to celebrate.
The Waffle House.
They got video of him at the Waffle House to celebrate with his teammates after the game.
He tweeted a meme of a football player. I don't know if it was a college player or NFL, but it was a meme of the football player being interviewed by like a reporter after a game, and he said, yeah, they definitely had us in the first half. And then Trev
throwing shade, huh? Yeah.
That's crazy. I would be so embarrassed if I was a Charger right now. I would be very embarrassed.
Man, it's devastating.
But that's football.
That's football. That's the way things go. And then we turn to the what y'all think about that Buffalo and Miami game?
I was a little scared for a second. I was scared. I actually went to, because since I'm in New York, I went to a Buffalo bar, right? Literally everybody in there, Buffalo paraphernalia head to toe. And every time Buffalo scored, the owner of the bar, who's from Buffalo, would stand up on the stage and do they chant. It was amazing. But they had me scared a little bit when the Dolphins was coming back, because divisional games aren't easy in the playoffs. So it's like
they not.
It's not.
It is.
And for a quarterback to come in there in the Buffalo and perform the way he did, but that's why I always tell people about Buffalo and Josh Allen. I'm not sold on Josh Allen when it comes to late games with his turnovers and things like that. That's why I don't think Buffalo can. I don't think that's why Buffalo can move forward, man. I don't think Buffalo can get out the AFC, man, because of Josh Allen. When it comes down, when these games are close, he's gonna make a mistake. He's gonna throw an interception or he's gonna turn the ball. Because Josh Allen like to put the ball down and run, and you saw what happened on that strip sack. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just not confident in Josh Allen late in games when it's on the line in the playoffs for him to deliver.
I need them to deliver because I have them going to the Super Bowl on my bracket. But Miami, they put up a good effort because I didn't even think it was gonna be that competitive.
Yeah,
Miami is better than. Yeah, Miami is. I think they're better than their record. I never was a Miami fan, even though I live in South Florida because I like the Patriots. But I always used to say, if I wasn't a Patriot fan, I would be a Miami fan because they're a good team.
Yeah, they're just respectable.
They gave it. They tried really hard. They really did.
They did. They didn't punk out and lose by 30. They gave it they all, and they could have won. But yeah, I had Buffalo winning, so I was happy. Actually, I want to make an announcement. So as of right now, because the Tampa Bay and Dallas haven't played yet, as of right now, I have the perfect bracket.
Oh
Just
my
to throw that
God.
out there. I'm the only one in my family
You
that
have
has a
a perfect bracket.
So far.
So
I was the
that
only one that went for the Giants. Everybody else went for
I
Minnesota.
was getting ready to say that, man. That's so disrespectful that you was gonna pick against my team. But let's talk about that since you brought that up. Yesterday's game, Minnesota and the Giants. I mean, give me y'all's perspective on that. Give me the breakdown. Let me know what happened because I don't even really want to talk about it because I'm so, So I'll let y'all break it for me.
Yeah, the reason I went for the Giants is not even because technically it's not even because of the Giants. It's more so because you never know what Minnesota team gonna show up on the field that day. Minnesota can be like
That's
a
true.
Super Bowl contenders one game and the sorriest team the next game. So that was
That's like
and
that's Dallas.
also B, yeah, that's Dallas too. Also B is because there's always an upset there's always one or two upsets on Wild Card weekend. So I figured that would be the game that's most likely to have an upset. So that's why I picked the Giants, actually.
Oh, okay.
But
you really didn't. You only picked them because you said it could be an upset. You really didn't.
Yeah.
Correct.
Your mind really was saying that Minnesota is the better. I got to go with the upset.
Correct.
Okay.
You're absolutely correct. I actually wanted Minnesota, but I'm like, if it be an upset, it's gonna be this game. It's going to be the Giants because the Giants not horrible.
That's respectable. So, Lene, what is your perspective on that?
I don't like the Giants, and I will tell you
Still
why.
because of Eli.
Yes,
Eli not on the team no more.
It doesn't matter. I don't like the Giants because of what Eli did the day he got drafted, and then also on top of that, he was the one quarterback to beat Tom twice in the Super Bowl, so that ain't help. But he has character flaws, so I just associated that with the team. I associated that with the team, and I don't. Because so the day he got drafted, right? And a lot of people don't know this. He originally got drafted to the Chargers.
San Diego Chargers, yeah.
Yeah. And so back then they were sorry.
And he didn't want to play for them.
He didn't want to play for them. And so I guess he had a name for himself. He can make
Archie Manning.
Yeah. So he can he could do things that other players couldn't do. So he basically said, I'm not going to play for this sorry team. Y'all need to put me on a different team. Mm-hmm. And so that's how he got to the Giants. And I was like, I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. I didn't like it. So that's why I don't like the Giants.
That's how Drew Brees got out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, I didn't actually catch the game because I was on my way to Fort Myers for a party. But I was checking on the score on my phone and I couldn't believe it again. But yeah, Minnesota's like Dallas. You never know who's going to show up. So it's like 50-50. When you pick them, it's 50-50. So it's like I can't even be mad. But I think also the Giants are like that. So it was a toss-up to me.
Y'all giving me a harsh reality of my own team. The crazy thing I tell people, we was one of them teams this year where we never got credit for anything we did. Every time a game was about to be played, everybody had us as underdogs. We never went into a game as really the favorite. Everybody had questions like you ladies got questions about Minnesota. And I was telling people, we one of them teams where you wake up and you be like, man, how the hell did they get here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No rhyme or reason how we got there. We just got there. But I'm one of them fans that I keep it real. I never thought we was Super Bowl contenders. I never thought we was going to the Super Bowl because, Linnell, if you know, when we did our show, I didn't predict Minnesota to come out of the NFC. I told you San Francisco or Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying? So the thing about it is my team was one of them teams where you wake up and be like, how the hell they get there? And Terry Bradshaw said it best on Saturday. Everybody picks against Minnesota, but then we got to say the next week when they win, well, how the hell did they win? And you still picking against them. So the thing about it is when our season started, our defense, the shell cover defense we was covering, we couldn't stop nobody. But if you go back and look at the game, we did play the Giants, and we won on the 61-yard field goal by Joseph. It was back and forth then. But the key play that people don't look at in yesterday's game is when we was going for it on 4th down to take the lead instead of selling for the field goal. We was going for it on 4th and 1, and Christian Darrisaw had that false start. So we had to kick the field goal.
Yep.
And, you know, I think if we would have took the lead, that puts the pressure on the Giants to march down the field to have to score. But now they put the pressure on us because we kicked the field goal. We tied it up. They came down and scored, and now the pressure's on Kirk Cousins. And y'all know the history of Kirk Cousins in primetime games.
Not good.
Can't deliver. And I thought it was set up for him to change the narrative if he could have marched us down the field to score. And in a situation like that, I was telling my son, if we do go down and score, if I'm Kevin O'Connell, I'm going for 2 for the win.
Oh, you playing to win? You playing to win the game?
I'm playing to win the game. But, you know, kudos to the Giants. You know, the Giants are moving on. They're going to play the Philadelphia.
Philly, right?
Yeah. So it's a divisional game for them. You know,
gonna be good.
It's gonna be a good game because they know each other. They didn't play twice this year. And that last game they played, they had the backups in. And I think the Giants backups boded well, but we'll see. So, you know, we'll spin it and we'll go to the AFC game that was played last night, you know, between the Baltimore Ravens and the
Bengals.
So I'll let y'all ladies take over. And what's y'all's breakdown on that game?
I didn't even know how the Bengals got in there, first of all. So I automatically was going against them because I didn't think they deserved to be there. Secondly, even though I didn't think that they were that good, they played very well, especially with the backup quarterback. So I was very shocked. And I was also shocked at Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. I think they are overhyped. And I got them losing in the next round of the playoffs. I think the Bengals are very overhyped ever since I saw them in last year's Super Bowl. I don't think they're good. But I do like they have a wide receiver named Chase, right? Something like that. I think he's very good.
Chase, yes.
Yeah. But that game, I guess it was okay. I wasn't up screaming and yelling at the TV.
Yeah, again, I think that game I was driving back from the party, so I didn't see it. But I picked the Bengals because Ravens, to me, I like them, but they got so much potential, but they can never close the deal. And I can't with them. I cannot.
Yeah, no. That's a true statement, man. And it's crazy because they had an opportunity to take the lead. Yesterday, the Ravens defense really showed up. Like I was telling my son, all season long, the Ravens defense been sporadic. You know what I'm saying? But yesterday, I thought they held their own in Cincinnati. They played great defense, even though they had Hundley in there. Hundley played an exceptional game, but he made one mistake on that quarterback sneak, knowing that the way the Eagles formation lines up, where they got Jalen Hurts lined up and everybody's behind him and they pushing the power forward. Instead of Hundley just hiking the ball and going forward and let the guys push him forward, he jumped over the pile. And that caused that fumble, and the dude took it back 98 yards for a touchdown. But if you look at it, the Ravens defense then held Cincinnati, and if they would have scored on that particular play, put them up 7, the Ravens
probably would have won.
They would have won. Yes.
Because Cincinnati wasn't playing well. I think if the Ravens would have scored on that play, I think they would have won.
Exactly.
Cincinnati wasn't doing good at all, and I'm shocked. I was shocked, but maybe because it was divisional. You know, divisional opponents are very hard. But yeah, when he did, and I hate when quarterbacks do that. They just like put the ball in the air like nobody can slap it out their hands. Like, what are you doing? You tuck it and you wait for somebody to push you over the line.
That was a bonehead play. That was a bonehead play. And J.K. Dobbins, he said it. He said if we would have had our all-star quarterback here, we would have won the game. But that's either here nor there now. So we just got to wait on the situation, what the Ravens going to do in the offseason. So going into this game tonight, what's y'all's prediction on this Tampa Bay and Cowboys game?
Okay, I'll start. Tampa Bay Cowboys, like we said earlier, you don't know who's gonna show up. So I think on my bracket I went for Tampa Bay. Yeah, I wouldn't go for Cowboys. So and it's only because of Tom Brady. And I do say this about him and Eli. If you let them in,
They're gonna make you pay.
yes. And so I'm going for Tampa Bay tonight only because of Tom Brady, because him and Eli are those quarterbacks that if they sneak in, and Tampa Bay record was terrible, right? It was
Yeah.
like
They
Like
backed
9-10.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, they
so
was not
he
good.
snuck in there now. He snuck in the back door and he looked like he might come out the front door. So my bet
Nah, I
tonight
don't
is
need
on
him
Tampa
coming out
Bay.
the front. I went for
Yeah,
Tampa
I
Bay
got
only
you.
because of Tom. Yeah, only because of Tom as well, because you don't bet against Tom Brady. And I grew up a Cowboys fan, so I used to like the Cowboys, but as I got older, their fans start making me hate the team because their fans are more hype than anybody else fans in the world. They think they just the ish and nobody can touch them. So the fans really make me not like the Cowboys.
Why does
So
everybody
that's why.
say that? Why is everybody saying
Because
it?
they so arrogant and because he won what 6 championships, but what that was one in the 80s and 70s. They act like they won 6 championships in the 2000s or something.
Man, they ain't won a
Like they
championship.
act like they can't be touched.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what a lot of people say. It's the fans it's not the team, it's the fans. It's the fans that irritate a lot of people. And that's why the people don't like the Dallas Cowboys. But like I told people, Dallas ain't won nothing since 95. And if you go back and look, the time that they winning, they had the triplets. All of them was doped up. They was on crack cocaine. They was numb to everything. So the league started getting wind of the situation and started testing these players and putting everybody on an even playing field. The Cowboys ain't won nothing ever since. Even when they won that playoff game, Quincy Carter was high. So once they, tested all these people and put everybody on an even playing field, Dallas ain't won nothing. So, that's my perspective on the Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but
I don't like the fact that they're known as the America's team, because I always thought that it should have been Patriots should be America's team, because number one, the colors, they're red, white, and blue, right? Which is the color of the American flag. So they should be America's team. But I think also Buffalo got those colors too. But anyway, because they're the Patriots, like patriotic, that should be America's team. And also Dallas, they don't live up to their hype. So I don't understand why there is hype behind them or surrounding them. They don't live up to it. They haven't in a while.
Wow.
So I don't get it. I don't.
I think I told you a while ago, because I used to work with the Uber Cowboy fan. So, and he told me the history of why they would call America's team is because their fans travel well across games.
Okay.
I guess a reporter was reporting on the Dallas Cowboys, so the reporter had to go to each game, and he said every time he went to a game, their fans were there like in numbers. So that's how they became America's team, because it's like they have fans everywhere.
Okay. Well, hey, that's I can see where you're coming from with that. I mean, but I like Lene's thing about the Patriots, because they're Patriots, they're patriotic, red, white, and blue.
Thank you.
I like that assessment right there. So I can't knock you for that. That's pretty much a good assessment right there. That was a good analogy. I like that. So I never thought about that. So when people started saying that, that's gonna be my comeback. That's gonna be my comeback. I got some Dallas Cowboy fans coming in the chat. See what they're saying?
I see. See, this is why.
That's why I don't like showing everybody.
They have the biggest star.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah. So with that said, let me get y'all guys' prediction on who's going to represent the AFC and who's going to represent the NFC.
Okay, I'll go first. On my bracket, I picked 2 teams that I didn't want to necessarily go, but I think had the best chance of going, because I do like Kansas City in the AFC, but I picked Buffalo to go because I figured Buffalo had a better team, and also it would be like a a nice ending after the Damar Hamlin
Yeah.
situation. And NFC, I picked Philly, even though I think they're overhyped. They do have a complete team. They have like the best team. So theoretically, they should win. So that's why I picked Philly and Buffalo to go, and I have Buffalo winning.
Oh, okay.
So I said, okay, let me start off with the AFC. I picked Buffalo as well because they do have a good team. Even though they're in my division, they do have a really good team. I don't like KC. I think they're overhyped as well. But I picked them to go to Super Bowl. So on the NFC, and I said this mid-season, probably even before mid-season, and Nell could attest to this, I have San Francisco winning the Super Bowl. Because when I saw them one game, like early in the season, I saw them playing one game. I forgot what team it was, but I was like, "Oh my God, this team is gonna win a Super Bowl because they played that good." And I was like, "Okay, this is my Super Bowl prediction right here." And so I have San Fran coming out. I think they're gonna win. I don't even think it's gonna be that hard for them to win, honestly.
Wow, interesting.
Okay.
Well, this is my prediction. Linnell, when I was on your show and I told you when I was talking about Philadelphia, I said Philadelphia is probably the most complete team in the NFL. But that was before Jalen Hurts got injured, right? And I think the two games that Jalen Hurts had to set out, the one game they played against the Cowboys, and then the next game they played against the Saints, some of the things got exposed on Philly. And the reason why I say that is because even though, they put up 35 points against the Cowboys, but look how that game was dictated. Gardner Minshew had to come out throwing the ball because of the fact that you playing from behind, you chasing, you scoring. And that did something to Philadelphia's defense. I don't think Philadelphia's defense was, playing the way they was playing if Jalen Hurts was behind center, right? Because with Jalen Hurts, the game would have been more controlled. You know what I'm saying? It would have been the run game would have got going. You wouldn't be just passing, getting these long touchdowns, and then the defense gets back on the field. Defense was wore down. Dallas was scoring at a high clip. They couldn't stop Dallas. And the defense took a step back. Now you go to the next week, Jalen's out. They play the Saints. The same thing. The defense was having trouble because, when you don't have your leader out there that's dictating the game, staying ahead of the change, extending drives, long drives for the defense to be off the field to get their rest, I think it took a step back. Then you go back and look when Jalen Hurts played the last game against the Giants. The Giants shut all their major players down. And even though the Eagles was up 19-0, the Giants was still in there. It wasn't nothing. The offensive coordinator cut some plays back for Jalen Hurts not to run the ball just to get that victory so they can get the rest. But I think that hurt. And just like Lene said, I think San Francisco, and I told you, Linnell, I said San Francisco is one of them teams that you don't want to play, even though that they don't have their quarterback. But Brock Purdy has stepped in and they have off the beat. And I think they're playing better with Brock Purdy. And I think the troops are rallying around Brock Purdy and they're getting things done. So my prediction to come out of the NFC, I'm going with San Francisco. And on the AFC, for the reasons that I stated earlier about Buffalo, I don't trust Josh Allen in these big games when it comes down close because he's going to turn the ball over. I'm going with Kansas City. So my prediction is Kansas City and San Francisco in the Super Bowl. I got Kansas City winning the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Another thing I heard about.
I'll be mad at that.
You said you got Kansas City winning?
I got Kansas City winning the Super Bowl. Kansas City winning.
No,
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. Okay. So didn't Nell, you said Purdy would be a great Cinderella story, right? And I heard
because he was Mr. Irrelevant.
Story, man. I don't think he wants it to be a Cinderella story because he thinks he belongs in the NFL. He thinks he can hold down that starting job. And I think Garoppolo might come back next year, but I think that job is Brock Purdy's. Trey Lance won't.
Yeah, it is.
That's Brock Purdy's thing.
So,
Oh wait, yeah, because Trey Lance is actually their starter, and then it's Jimmy,
they
and
gave
then
the keys to Trey Lance
it's
to start the season out. He got hurt, so they brought Garoppolo back in. Then Garoppolo
he's
goes
not gonna
down, and Brock
start.
Purdy comes in. Yep.
He not gonna start though.
Who?
Garoppolo.
who?
Nah, Garoppolo, he's done. They probably gonna
No.
trade him out. Trey Lance will probably be the backup. But if Brock Purdy goes on and gets them to the NFC, gets them to the Super Bowl, that's his starting job.
Mm-hmm.
That's his starting
I
job.
believe that. Yeah.
And they gonna have to pay him.
Oh, they have to pay him. And I think Brock Purdy, he's telling people, like, I don't want this to be a Cinderella story because I belong. You know, I know what I can do. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at some of his mannerisms, he got that Jimmy Garoppolo mannerism. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know who Jimmy Garoppolo was and you know who Brock Purdy was and you turned on the TV, some of their mannerisms are alike. And you'd be like, damn, that's Jimmy Garoppolo. But nah, Brock Purdy, the thing about Brock Purdy, he has more scrambling ability than Garoppolo. He knows how to put the ball down and run because he made some plays with his legs the other night. He made some plays with his legs the other night that it's like, okay, these guys are rallying around him. And when he throws a good ball like Debo, he gets Debo involved. He gets Ayuk involved. Because if you go back at the beginning of the year, I had Ayuk on my fantasy squad. He wasn't producing numbers. And then when Brock Purdy came in there, that's when Ayuk started taking off. He started getting his touches.
Yeah, pretty good catches the other night. Yeah.
So Purdy might not want, and I get it, he doesn't want it to be considered a Cinderella story, but when they win the Super Bowl, which they will, that's what it's going to be. So he might as well accept it now because that's what it's going to be.
So you confident that San Francisco will win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they win the Super Bowl. Right. I said it like week 2 or 3, something like that.
Right. Well, that's interesting. We got your prediction on that, but we're going to take a little 30-second break. I got to pay some bills here. And when we come back, we're going to get off into the meats and potatoes of the show.
Okay.
Boho Chic Boutique is dedicated to the lovers of fashion, specializing in bohemian chic handbags, accessories, and personal shopping. Visit Boho Chic Boutique at bohochictx.com. BOHOCHICTX.com. This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to my boy Brian Kelly over there at True Choice Insurance doing his thing. So if anybody needs insurance and anything in the Dallas metro area, hit up my man Brian Kelly at True Choice Insurance, man. We appreciate everything that you do. Okay, with that said, man, 2 weeks ago on a Monday Night Football game, man, we sat there and we witnessed a horrific injury to one of the Bills players, the safety, Damar Hamlin. And, you know, he's been recovering. You know, he's been in the hospital. You know, he's on the road to recovery. You know, God bless. He's been fighting for his life, and everything did a major turn, and all his vitals are intact. And he's smiling again. He's tweeting again. He's FaceTiming again. And, you know, he was discharged from the Cincinnati hospital, went to Buffalo, had some more tests ran, everything checked out. So he was discharged from there as well. So he's back home resting and still getting treatment. And the Bills organization did a gesture that they're going to pay his salary, his full salary, his 4-year, $3.6 million salary. So with that said, I want to get off into this, what the Bills did for Damar Hamlin. So before I get started on that, the Bills organization, the owner is a $1 billion owner. And the thing about it is, you know, paying somebody's contract out for 4 years, $3.6 million. Now, with that said, my take on that is this man will probably not be able to play another football game again in his life. That was his dream. So with them paying the $3.6 million, when that runs out, then what?
Well, hopefully he invested well where he can live off of some type of residuals. But I don't know, because like you said, he's probably won't play anymore professionally because he's too much of a risk.
Exactly.
And
So
it's,
my take is like, yeah, that's a good gesture to pay this man's, $3.6 million salary. But
oh, sorry for interrupting. Are you saying like maybe they should have offered like some sort of pension, monthly payment?
something else should be done.
Okay, okay.
Something else should be done because I'm saying that cat's dream was to make it in the NFL, get paid, and it's not just for him; it's for his family and his children and things like that. But you coming into the league and you're on your first salary, you're on your rookie salary, making that much, and you make a name for yourself, right? That bodes well for you because now when you go back to the negotiations, you're going to draw even more money. Now he don't have that opportunity. His contract is shut down. His contract is shut down now that, okay, they're going to pay the $3.6 million in salary. But after that, looking down the road, if you only have that $3.6 million, even though that you, like you said, you're trying to financial advisor invest in that money, but when you putting out money and there's nothing coming in, his bills still got to be paid.
Yeah.
So, that's what, he's looking to make another contract and he don't have that opportunity. Yeah, it's a great gesture for them to, pay that, but I think there should be more done. I mean, he's still got medical bills that got to be paid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who's taking care of these medical bills? Is Buffalo taking care of these medical bills?
It should be. But I think when I heard that they were paying the rest of his salary, I was like, that should be the bare minimum. Like that shouldn't even have been a question.
Exactly.
And I also, okay, so is this true when people get put on the injury reserve list, they don't get paid? Because that's crazy.
They don't have to.
Yeah, some of the medical bills stop. If you listen to what Warren Sapp said, Warren Sapp been in the league. How long was Warren Sapp in the league? Like 11, 12 years. It's got to be a minimum of, I think, 4 or 5 years that you're in the league until you get that NFL pension. But that don't include your medical bills or anything like that. They cut all that stuff off.
That's not right. Like
because they don't have to pay him the rest of his contract. They don't. What he was in like his second year or something, they don't have to pay that.
They don't have to pay it, but I said it's a good gesture. But if you're going to pay that leads to something else that I'm talking about, is because this guy might never have an opportunity to play a sport that he, loved to play, and that was his means to provide for his family. So once that $3.6 million is done, because he's taking care of not just himself, his whole family.
And I get that, playing devil's advocate, I get that, but that's not the NFL's problem. Not trying to be mean.
Well, I understand where you're coming
from. I think that maybe because he wasn't highly recruited, I don't know if he had any pull or any clout or anything like that. But can't you negotiate your contract and put stuff in it, like put clauses and stuff in it, or no? Because if you're not like a first or second round player,
no, that was his rookie contract.
They should start putting stuff.
That was still.
They should start putting stuff like. Yeah. They should start putting stuff like that in contracts. Like, if I get hurt on this year, at least pay my medical bills, or you have to pay out the rest of my contract. Like, they need agents to start helping them more, because he shouldn't be able. It shouldn't have even been a question for him not to get paid.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing. Like, a lot of people look at the glitz and glamours. Yeah, the NFL is making a lot of money. But once you get hurt and things like that, and you're not able to play the game again, you just that regular person again. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have that opportunity to get another contract. You're done. You know what I'm saying? And this is what you lived your whole life for, is not just for yourself, but taking care of your family. And when you taking care of your family, paying all the bills, and there's nothing coming in, that money's getting socked right up out of you. So, where does he go from there? You know what I'm saying? Where does he go from there?
It's crazy. And I think I think he's a football player, some type of athlete. He tweeted, somebody had to basically die for the NFL to do something that they were supposed to do. Like, he basically had to die for them to do the right thing.
But what do you mean that they were supposed to do? There are contracts in place for a reason. And I'm just playing devil's advocate, guys.
I like it.
I'm saying there are contracts in place for a reason. Okay. If this was his rookie contract and his agent or his lawyer, whoever, didn't put in certain clauses, then that's on him, isn't it?
Well, I mean, the way the contracts are negotiated as a rookie, man, is a certain amount of money that you can make. They get a little signing bonus and things like that. And that's why all the players, when they come to the negotiations and they want these contracts, they want the guaranteed money. Because just because you see a number saying 4 years, 18 million, that 18 million ain't guaranteed. There's a base with that. So when you talk about these quarterbacks that are making 200 million, where it says, well, this guy signed a contract, 5 years, 200 million. Yeah, it looks good on paper, but what's the guaranteed money? The guaranteed money is 100 million guaranteed. They might not see that other 100 million on the back end. You know what I'm saying? So that's why these players want that guaranteed money. And that's a lot of holdup in a lot of people's contracts, is that guaranteed money, because they're looking at the position, or how much the position is getting paid and what is the guarantee. And that takes us right in to our next thing about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson set out. Well, I say he set out. Even though he's injured, but I say he set out, because you got to look at it like this. This cat is not under contract. This is his last year of his rookie deal, right? So he's up for major money. Now they want to franchise tag him. Now Lamar is hurt. So Lamar has set out for the last 5 games and set out the playoff game and put on his own Twitter that he wasn't playing because he got a grade 2 sprain, might be a grade 3, and he's, trying to rehab it. So if he goes out there and get himself injured, then what? So then that's another situation. If he gets injured and can't play no more, then what? Lamar don't get no money.
Correct. Yeah. I haven't read much about. Go ahead there.
No, because I was watching this sports show and they were talking about it. I think since they're not giving him the contract he wanted, he like, okay, I'm not gonna risk my body for y'all no more if y'all not putting out for me, because he could have played. We all know Lamar could have went out there.
I know he could have played. I know he could have played.
Yeah. So, and did you see what he put on his, was it Instagram or Twitter today?
Yeah. What he put
today?
On
he put something. I'm finna read it because I saw it today.
Read it all.
Like,
read it all.
No, he didn't. I was like, no, he did not. He put, and this is, I guess, a repost. So he put, when you have something good, you don't play with it. You don't take chances losing it. You don't neglect it. When you have something good, you pour into it. You appreciate it, because when you take care of something good, that good things take care of you too.
He's throwing shots at the Ravens organization.
He is.
But
that he couldn't get a contract done, and then now they give Roquan Smith an extension, but now you're not thinking about, taking care of your mainstay. So basically what he's saying in that tweet is, hey, y'all better do something or I'm up out of here.
Yeah. And you had something good and you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah. So,
but has the Ravens done it? Have they done anything for us lately?
What do you mean?
Oh, the Ravens as a football team?
Yes. What is it? Have they been to the Super Bowl lately? No,
but they've been good. And he was the MVP, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Usually when you have an MVP quarterback, that he get paid MVP quarterback money. They not paying this man.
I feel like these people be letting people get in their ear and he's showing his behind because he thinks somebody done got in his ear, and he gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna play if y'all gonna do this, and they gonna shoot him the deuces, and we gonna see where you land if you land somewhere.
Oh, somebody
come to the
will
jet.
pick him up. Somebody will pay him, but I think the Ravens, they came out and said that their focus is, getting Lamar under contract, man, because you don't want to franchise tag somebody like that and you go out and get hurt, man. And Lamar did the right thing about setting out. I thought that was best. He just letting the Ravens organization know that y'all need me. Y'all need me.
Yeah. And he got to take care of his body. Like y'all taking care of y'all money. He see Patrick Mahomes getting his big money. He see all these other quarterbacks getting their big money. Where my contract at? I was MVP.
Yep.
Where's my contract? So yeah, he upset and he go, hey, you think he mad they lost yesterday? He ain't mad they lost.
He wants his money.
See?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
I told y'all should have had me in there. He totally would have got that touchdown. He would have reached over. He would have got that touchdown.
They'd have got that touchdown.
That's funny.
He would have got that. Somebody said, "Man, he ain't Patrick Mahomes." So you know what I'm saying. So everybody,
he ain't Patrick Mahomes. I agree with you, sir. He's not.
So I think a lot of people got Kansas City winning their Super Bowl.
I don't know why.
I won't be mad.
I
wouldn't be mad at that. I think Patrick Mahomes, even though that's like my second team, I think he take a lot of risque plays, and it's going to mess him up. Maybe he be taking a lot of risky plays, like running left or throwing right, or shuffling the ball in between his legs and stuff like that. No, I need you to play focus. You need to play the traditional way, sir.
Yeah. I just don't see who's gonna stop San Fran. I don't see it.
Well, we're gonna have to revisit this. We're gonna have to revisit this when it's all said and done, and see if your predictions held true.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So before we get up out of here, I always like to end my show, and I always like to get 5 fun facts about my guests. Something people might know about you. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start off with you, Lene. 5 fun facts about you that people might not know about you.
Fun facts? Okay, I like going to the movie theater, and it's because when I go there, and I'm watching a movie, everything that's in. She's laughing because she already know I said this to her before. Everything, say if I'm stressed out or whatever, everything that's going on in the world when I'm watching that movie, I'm literally in that movie, so nothing else matters. So I'm a really big movie buff. I like bowling. Okay. I don't know if anybody knows that. Let's see.
You have twins.
I was going to say that, but I don't know if that's a fun fact. But yeah, I have a set of twins, boy, girl. I used to run track, so I am kind of athletic. I used to run track. I ran. Listen. Because it was in middle school, it was 1 year. And the only reason we joined the track team, because we joined together, because our best friend at the time, she ran track. She was really good. And every year the track team went to the Rapids Water Park. So we was and so when you get the group race, it's cheaper. So we didn't grow up with money. So we was like, okay, this is a good way for us to go to the Rapids, because it won't be that much for my mama. So we joined the track team. And guess what? They didn't go that year. Yeah, they didn't go. I think the last thing, I like old school R&B music. A lot of people say I have an old soul. So I like listening to back in the day stuff. From even when before I was born. I like that. So I think
that's good. Okay, now Linnell, what's yours?
I'm gonna try. We are, even though we don't look alike, we are identical twins, and I think people need to know the definition between identical and fraternal, because they think identical is if you look alike, like Mary Kate and Ashley Austin. Identical is just mean you came from the same egg. One egg split into two. So you don't technically have to look alike. Because Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen are actually not identical.
Fraternal.
They just look alike. Yeah, they're fraternal. So we're identical. My celebrity crush is Scott Eastwood, which is Clint Eastwood's son. He's also an actor. Let's see. My favorite type of movie is horror movies, and our favorite holiday is Halloween. That like kind of goes hand in hand. I do like reading books. I have so many books in my here. I do like reading a good book. What else? My favorite rapper is Ludacris.
Ludacris.
I love Ludacris. Right. Ludacris, yeah, from the ATL. That's my favorite rapper. I think was that 5?
One more.
I think that's okay. One more fun fact. Let's see. This is funny. I am down with the swirl. A lot of people are be shocked when I say that, but I do like white guys as well.
Yeah, make sure you say white guys.
I said white.
No, because I'm saying sometimes when you say
Scott.
No, when some people say down with the swirl, they mean the same gender.
Oh no, I'm not down with the lady prom. No.
There you go. I'm glad you clarified that. Somebody in the comments says Scott Eastwood.
Yes, that's my celebrity crush. Yes, it is.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that's great. I mean, ain't nothing wrong. Hey, you got to do your thing. You got to mix and mingle. You know what I'm saying? So hey, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But so, is there anything y'all ladies would like to say before you get up out of here? Let them know your social media, where they can find you, and things like that.
Yes. On Instagram, we are at the Fletcher Twins, and that's twins with a Z, not an S. We are starting back our Facebook page up because they had shut down because my Facebook page got hacked and they shut it down. So we are starting back up our Facebook page, but it'll be at a picture's worth 1,000 words. Our email address is podcast.1000words@gmail.com. We do put up full videos now of every episode on YouTube. Our YouTube page is a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Who told you about that?
Yeah, and we just talk about sports. You gave us advice to put visuals, but also because this guy I used to be friends with, when he found out we did a podcast, he was like, "I'll do the videos." He also kept saying, "Do videos, not just audio." Because when I first got into it, it was like audio. But now I do think people want to actually see. You get more engagement that way with audio, with visuals. So
there you go.
Yeah.
And I just
have a good time.
And I just made a cute intro video for our YouTube page.
Hey, like I tell people, presentation is half the battle. When you give them when you present a lot of good things to them and give them visuals, they'll come along. They'll start following you. They'll start seeing what you're talking about, man. So it's a great platform, man. And that's why I wanted you guys on the show. You know what I'm saying? I like doing collaborations. You know what I'm saying? Because like I tell people, it's enough in this podcast game for everybody to eat. You know what I'm saying? So I always like to spread the love, man, and bring people on my platform, send it out to my social medias, and they be like, man, who are them? They'll start following. And so you just pick it up that way, man. So, but I want to thank you guys for joining me today on the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. And it's been a pleasure. And like I said, that's going to wrap up another episode of the Ball Dropping podcast. Once again, I'm the man behind the mic, K-Sap, and we'll catch you on the next. Deuces.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.